guys. Oh, we know the 12th Doctor, and I'm here with, of course, I'm here with Pop Culture Diva.
Hello, my young lassies.
You can always tell we're in a great mood right now. Dukaloops could not join us. Unfortunately, he had other engagements. So I am here with Deanna, and we're here to talk about the announcement for the 12th Doctor. And before we go any further, even though it was announced and it's all over the internet, for those who haven't seen the announcement yet of who will be the 12th Doctor, don't watch this video, okay? Just hit that back button right now. Okay, if you know who it is, Peter Capaldi has been announced to be the 12th Doctor, and I could not be any more excited because he's something that, right off the bat, he's something of Doctor Who that I was kind of hoping for to begin with. He's a known actor, but he's not like super known, and this is literally his biggest role he's ever gotten. For those who don't know, Capaldi, most of you guys would know him from such shows as In the Loop and Skins, as well as he's...
In the Loop is a movie.
Oh, I'm sorry, In the Loop. My apologies. In the Loop and Skins, as well as he played a minor role in World War Z, and he's going to be in Tim Burton's Maleficent movie next year.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, apparently he's playing Maleficent's father.
Boy.
Yeah, now I have a reason to go see that movie. Anywho, Capaldi also, but most of you guys would know him best for being in an episode of Series 4 of Doctor Who, The Fires of Pompeii. And a lot of people are like, oh my god, Capaldi, that's awesome. And some people are like, he was already in Doctor Who, why is he back? Oh, it's not like we've had actors come back to play the Doctor in Doctor Who. I don't think that's ever happened before. Unless there was this weird case in the 80s where this guy named Colin Baker, I'm pretty sure you guys heard of him, he was in an episode of Davison's Run, and then the following year he came back to play the Doctor, if I'm right. I'm pretty sure that's true. I'm I'm going to back off now. I'm getting into prick territory. But anyway, this is not uncommon. I mean, it's not just the Doctor. I mean, we've had, what's her name? Freema Agyeman, who appeared in Series 2 and then came back to Series 3. To Series 3. And we've had Jenna Louise Coleman play like 3 different roles. That we turned out all to be the same. Anywho, Deanna, I'm sorry for that long intro, but Deanna, what do you think of Capaldi as the 12th Doctor?
I fucking love this choice. I first noticed Peter Capaldi when I saw In the Loop, and it seemed to me like he was the more Scottish version of Craig Ferguson. I don't know how else to explain it. Like In the Loop, he had a very over the top part with some of the most quotable lines in recent memory. Like, for instance, he said something about, "You may be fine, but I'm sweating spinal fluid over here." And his first words in the movie were like, "Good morning, my young chicks and cocks," and things like that. And I just loved the energy that he put in that role. And then I saw him again in Skins, which is another British television show where he played one of the characters' fathers, but that was a very, very dramatic role. He was still kind of funny, but given that at some point he dies in the show and it's a very depressing scene, I kind of always, like, Peter Capaldi in Skins is on the serious, depressing side. But yeah, I love this choice because it completely changes the dynamic there's going to be in Doctor Who. And I think Doctor Who, at this point, as much as I loved Matt Smith, and like you mentioned earlier, Matt Smith was my first Doctor, and this is my first regeneration. As much as I loved him, in the 7th season, I think we can all agree that Doctor Who was getting a little bit stale, and they needed to switch it up in order to keep it fresh and keep it interesting. And I think Peter Capaldi is the perfect choice to do that because he is older. He does have a very raw energy about him. He is Scottish, and I love the fact that the Doctor is going back to Scotland. In the loop, he was very, very irreverent and very kind of in-your-face, brash kind of character. And I think we're going to see some of that in the Doctor, more so than with Matt Smith. Which Matt Smith, I think, from what little I've seen of the new Doctor so far, and I've seen like little bits and pieces of Tennant and Eccleston, Matt Smith was the less angry god kind of Doctor, where I think Tennant was was at his most angriest in terms of the Doctor's performance. And I think with this, we're going to see a darker, more mature Doctor.
Yeah. It would be a nice little switch up of seeing, Matt Smith was the kid. This is going to be the adult.
Mm-hmm.
And
no more hitting on the companions. Thank God.
Yeah.
Bring back River. They're the same age now. It's perfect.
I think this is also an interesting choice because he's the oldest of the new series Doctor Who. He's 55, right?
Yes.
And that's a kind of a culture shock because Duke was telling me it's always been like you need kind of like a sex appeal to the Doctor. I don't think you need that. I mean, that wasn't a big issue for the first series of Doctor Who, although McGann is kind of debatable. But still, I think that this is an interesting point because now it's getting to like, how attractive is the Doctor? I'm pretty sure. I mean, Capaldi's not bad to look at, but calling no homo here. I'm not calling him ugly in the least. I'm pretty sure some people are going to think he's cool and all that. I think he's got a certain energy to him, and it's kind of interesting because I'm wondering where they're going to take him because, as you said, in the loop he played very eccentric person, and in Skins he was a very dramatic person. So you could, and Matt Smith did that too. So I'm wondering where they're going to take this Doctor. A lot of people are saying maybe he'll go back to something like Jon Pertwee, where it's this Doctor who's very old, but he has the situation under control, and we see some Doc Fu.
I think he's still going to have a little bit of, like I said, the thing that I noticed first and foremost about him was his energy. And just because he's 55 years old doesn't mean that he can't kick Matt Smith or David Tennant or Christopher Eccleston's ass. I think he can. I mean, he was born in Glasgow. So, maybe Eccleston can put up a fight. But I think Matt Smith would get his ass kicked. I don't know where Tennant was born. I don't know, I have the feeling. Oh, Bathgate. What the hell? Bathgate is on the nice side of Scotland, probably.
Yeah, Glasgow's the hood, apparently, of Scotland.
No, but Glasgow is a very harsh city. Like, Edinburgh is the cultural hippie capital of Scotland, and Glasgow is, South Central Glasgow, kind of. I'm sorry, Scottish people, if I'm totally, being offensive. But yeah, I don't think he's going to be like the old, subdued kind of Doctor. I don't think that at all. I think he's going to be kind of like the Dark Knight Returns version of the Doctor. I mean, that's where I think they're going to go with it. Like, he's still going to be as funny and sarcastic and probably a little bit manic as the new Doctors were, but he's definitely, he will kick your ass. Make no mistake. Matt Smith's Doctor would have dominated you with his mind. This Doctor is probably just going to, give you a wedgie and send you on your way.
Yeah. I'm also wondering how how he'll play off of Jenna Louise Coleman.
Yes, that is very interesting because Jenna Louise Coleman and Matt Smith were very cutesy together. Very cutesy, adorable, hipster kind of couple. Well, couple in commas, because they weren't actually a couple, although they did make out. This is going to be more like the crazy uncle and his lovely niece.
That's what you think it's going to be, like crazy uncle and niece? Like, so it's going to be, so you're thinking it might be like Tom Baker and Sarah Jane. I mean, Liz Sladen, excuse me.
If I knew how those people were, I would probably agree with you. I mean, I know it was a Doctor and a companion at some point, I just don't know when or what they did.
Yeah, I think that would be an interesting way to say, like, it's an older he's the older, I would like the crazy uncle kind of story. I think that would be kind of interesting. It would be a nice change rather than a possible love interest thing.
We don't want the crazy uncle that touches you inappropriately.
No, we don't. And again, it's kind of a. I don't think. Do you think it might be kind of close to what they might do with what they did with the old series? But what I really think is that they're trying to do something a little new. I'm also kind of guessing that this is Stephen Moffat's last stint as showrunner. That's just my theory. Because now everyone's kind of getting tired of his tricks. Everyone knows his story now. I think this might be his last season as showrunner, and I'm gonna say that they might give showrunning to Gatiss. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I'm just really excited and I want to see where this goes.
Yeah, and like you mentioned when we talked earlier, it's good that Capaldi himself is very excited about the opportunity because he has been in a bunch of stuff. Like you said, he's still not very well known. And, unlike Matt Smith, Matt Smith was very young when he got the part. And he had the whole world in front of him. He had his whole career in front of him. And you could see that because he played the part for a couple of years. And then he got out to do Hollywood movies. But I think with Peter Capaldi, not that he's going to, hold on to this part forever, but he just brings another level of commitment to it. Matt Smith was hungry for a part. He was young. Peter Capaldi has experience. He's been around the block, and he's just grateful for the opportunity, not because he's old and doesn't have a career, but just it's different when you're a mature actor than when you're a young actor.
Yeah. He's also very much a fan. I mean, this guy's they showed that he wrote letters to the BBC when he was younger, and he went up. I remember during that interview they had with him that he went up to Matt Smith and was like, "Oh, I loved you," and that brightened up Matt Smith's day. After they did after they just shot the 11th Hour, and he was feeling, I don't know if I can do this, and Capaldi went up to him and just hugged him and was like, "Oh, you were great."
Yeah, I think he'll work out okay, and I'm crossing my fingers for River to come back and they have an awesome sex scene. And how funny would it be if every woman threw herself at Matt Smith's doctor, and he was like, no, and now the doctor would be super horny all the time. And because he's no longer young and beautiful, he can't get any.
This was so much easier in my last... Why did my last self reject all these women?
They were throwing pussy at him, and he rejected it. Oh, doctor.
Yeah. Anywho, I don't know how long, because again, he's 55. You can only do this role for so long. So, but I have a feeling
he's Scottish. Believe in that Scottish DNA. Believe in it.
I have a feeling that he'll be doing this for at least, I'm going to call the same as Tennant and Smith, 3 series.
I'm going to say 2 seasons.
Really?
Yes, because I think there's always the possibility that the fans are not going to accept him, in which case I don't see him getting more than 2 seasons. Christopher Eccleston was the exception because he wanted to leave.
Yeah. I guess it's just one of those wait-and-see kind of moments, but he's something new, and I'm always looking forward... For Doctor Who, new is always good. Sometimes. Well, sometimes. I take that back.
Professor Xavier and the Doctor are both Scottish. Wow.
Yeah.
Between Scotland and Australia, damn.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that we've pretty much covered everything, and I want to thank Pop Culture Diva for joining me on this.
No problem.
And yeah, you guys tell us what you think of Peter Capaldi as the new Doctor. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you kind of nervous about it? Are you anxious to see what he can do? All that good stuff. And yeah, we just can't wait until next year to see what he can do. And we can't wait and also it's going to be sad to see Matt Smith's final stuff, so...
Oh my god, I think that's going to be so sad.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be practically heartbreaking. As sad as people were when David Tennant regenerated and he was like, I want